This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. Today we're going to discuss how to discuss, illustrate, and apply for hospital indemnity. I've done a module just before, and the product that we used was Heartland National, and today we're going to use a different product, the GTL product, because Heartland is not available in all states. And also you want to take a look at, very quickly, the disclaimers. I'm just going to pause for 3 seconds while you can read them. So what are some of the holes that are in a hospital indemnity plan? There are several that I feel and that clients often talk about as risk, financial risk. And first and foremost is the daily hospital copay. Typically they range from $100 a day up to $450 a day, and they can be anywhere from 3 days to 10 days for the most part. Skilled nursing facility, after the 20th day, it tends to be a steep copay in these plans. Cancer treatments, I believe, is probably the second biggest risk in having a Medicare Advantage plan. Any plan I've ever looked at, the exposure has always been 20% up to the maximum out of pocket. Ambulance rides, outpatient surgical costs, those are typically a fixed copay, but sometimes you'll see them as a fixed percentage. Durable medical equipment, that could be very costly to somebody. Typically I see is 20% in the plans. And then, of course, end-stage renal disease and dialysis. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look over here at a Medicare Advantage plan. The plan has already been decided on for the individual. We're going to make that assumption that we've already picked out the plan because this is just a training. Here, I'm going to put this on pause for 1 second.
This
Okay, so
conference
we're
will
back.
now be recorded.
So we use the tool CSG. We go to Medicare Advantage, and I'm going to put in this person's zip code. And always make sure you have the county. This happens to be a zip code that is just in one county, but that's not always the case. We're looking at plan year 2019. And I'm going to go down and try to find plan number 167. So just bear with me. Plan 167. I wonder if I did when I wrote it down, I wonder if I wrote it down wrong. Oh, here we go, 167. So plan details. And although you can't really show this to the client, what you can do is you can kind of go down and look at the different benefits. And we're going to use this as a side-by-side comparison on how to layer in hospital indemnity. So kind of looking at the risks here, the one risk we want to look at is inpatient hospitalization, outpatient surgery we'll look at, and then we'll also look at cancer care. So inpatient hospitalization in network is a $100 copay for 7 days. So kind of keep that in the back of your mind, a $100 copay for 7 days. Ambulance is a $265 copay. Skilled nursing facility, which I brought up, if you take a look past the 20th day, it's $172 copay. Very similar to Medicare. End-stage renal disease, dialysis is a 20% co-insurance, 20%, and you know they're going to hit the maximum out of pocket. Outpatient surgery in network is $100 per visit, so this isn't terrible. This is actually really good. Normally it's a little bit higher, but certainly not bad. And let's see, diabetes, dental. So cancer is just not listed here, but I can tell you cancer, injectables and things of that nature are typically 20%. Durable medical equipment, 20%. I'm just going to scan this just one more time. And again, this is not the system that you're going to use to explain these benefits. You have to do it from the plan's specific summary of benefits. This is just for you. Here we go. Out-of-network drugs, 20% for chemo, right here. I'll just draw it really quick. 20% for chemo. So what we would do in a case like this is we would recommend a hospital indemnity. Now, in this particular state, I know that the Heartland National product, which is one that we're recommending quite a bit, I know that the Heartland National product is not available. So that will bring me to my next product, which would be GTL. So I know that this person is 75. I'm going to run the quote, and then I'm going to pick the GTL. And they have two plans. They have one where the hospital indemnity goes 10 days and one that goes 21. Since we're trying to fill in the gaps for Medicare Advantage, I would just naturally pick the 10-day one, okay? So you can kind of go down along the lines here, and you can kind of add the menu options, kind of like when you're going through the Chipotle line, where you ask for beef or tomatoes or lettuce or guacamole. It's the same thing with this. So the first stop that we get to is cancer. I always take a look at the maximum out of pocket really quick, and it looks like it's $4,500. So immediately I'm going to add a cancer to cover the maximum out of pocket. So that's $5,000. That's only $14 a month. So for $14 a month, if this person is ever struck with cancer, at least you know that they wouldn't have to pay anything out of pocket. All of that treatment for that cancer for that particular year is going to be taken care of because you took the time to go through this with them. The next thing I'm going to look at is the hospital. Well, here it stops us at the outpatient surgery. So it's $100 per visit. So if I put $250 for the visit, it adds $17 a month to the plan. Not worth it. I'd show it to the client and I would tell them, listen, we could add this, but it's just not worth it. So we're not going to add it. If you have to do an outpatient surgery, it's better that you just pay the $100. The next one is hospital confinement. We know this is $100 a day for 7 days. The minimal this plan will do is $100, and the minimal days this plan will do is 10 days. So we know that at least with the minimum, we're going to cover that hospitalization. We can add a lump sum hospital confinement benefit if they want to add more, but look what it does. For $250 a day, what it does is it pays after the 60 days of hospitalization. So I wouldn't technically add that. I would rather see them spend their money on maybe the skilled nursing facility. It looks like we can add $120 a day to help cover that $172 copay. Okay, and that only brings the price up to $15. And then if they wanted to add the ambulance benefit, it's about $60 a year in premium for the ambulance benefit. So I think that would be a good use of their money. If they wanted to save any money, we can do that. And then there's an accidental death benefit thing you can add here for 70 cents. If they die in an accident, their beneficiary would be paid out $5,000 for $1.41. You know, something you could ask them if they don't have life insurance or maybe they're not insurable. So when you go up to the top, you see what the price is, and it quotes you at $53.27. So for the price of the plan, which is over here, $87 a month, plus the price of the hospital indemnity, because you took the time to go over this with the client. Let me just clear that out. You're closing the gap on the cancer. And if the client has more resources, I would suggest you give them more cancer coverage. That's where I would suggest the resources go. So just doubling the cancer coverage only adds $17 a month to the premium. So I would absolutely give them more cancer coverage, and I would take away the ambulance ride if you wanted to help out with finances. I would get rid of that. And now we're at $60 a month. $62 a month. I would do that before I would give them an ambulance ride. So that's how you quote it out. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer as long as you believe in it and it makes sense to you. So the next thing you want to do is you want to be able to apply. So you would go to GTL, and if you're not contracted with GTL, we'll get you contracted. And you log in, and you got to start off with a quote. I don't know why over here. Start off with a quote, and you put in the person's name, and the date of birth. Remember I said in my previous things, it's always important to get their date of birth because sometimes you need it. You can quote a spouse, and here we're doing the state of Minnesota for my good friend out there who's brand new to Medicare, starting out this year. And the plan is called Advantage Plus, and here you would just build your quote out. And there we go. It's a $20 application fee, so don't be scared that the premium is different from what we just looked at before. It's a one-time $20 application fee, and that's included in that price. So the subsequent premium is only $62.56, and then you just basically hit apply now, and then you just follow the prompts to do the application. It's very easy, and then at the end, the client has to do a very brief phone call with the underwriting department. You can call in right then and there. They can call in at a different time. It takes about 5 minutes. Then the policy gets issued. And that's how you do hospital indemnity. You present this, I could tell you, if you present this 10 times, you will sell 9 of them. If you present it 10 times, you will sell 9 of them. So what are the next steps? If you are part of our network, reach out to us for any additional questions or training you feel you want or need. If you're not, I am open to having a phone call with you to see if we're a good fit. I could tell you that we don't work with everybody. It's kind of a customizable relationship. And then finally, we talked today about GTL. If you want to get on board with GTL, just let me know. That's my email, nationcareservices@gmail.com. And then you can call or text me at 561-276-3280. Today is Saturday morning. And then in case if anybody is wondering, I did not win. We did not win the Mega Millions last night. We did not. We did get the Powerball number, so I think we won $4 or $5. But with that, you take care.